101.3 Augusta, 103.9 Bangor, AM 1450 Rockland, the voice of Maine.
Dial GHRT via the PDQ Door telephone line, 1-800-966-1039. Residential and garage doors and more from PDQ Door. PDQDoor.com.
Business leaders,
politicians,
the people who make the decisions
that affect your life.
All wake up
with two hosts
and one program. Confrontation
through conversation.
Welcome to
the George Hale Rick Tyler Show.
We gotta take the power back
from LA to MDI to T3R13.
We gotta take the power back.
This is the George Hale Rick Tyler Show. George on vacation in Florida.
Come on!
Our guest co-host in command and control from Loving Touch In-Home Care.
Take the power back.
It's Chris Greeley. Chris, thanks again for getting up, coming in, being a part of GHRT.
Absolutely my pleasure. Rick, thank you for having me.
And your pleasure to introduce the guests on the PDQ Door Tele. Man, you're bringing in the big guns, man.
Well, I'm pretty excited. On the line with us this morning is Detroit Red Wings goalie and former UMaine star Jimmy Howard. So
we're
going
to Black Bears.
Yes.
So a big good morning to Mr. Howard.
Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
What are you laughing at?
I'm doing good, my friend. He's a good. Hey, this is a great guy. This guy's a great guy.
Jimmy, Chris told us that you played last night, so you might be a little bit sleepy. But God bless you for getting up and being on the phone with us, talking with some of your fans back at Maine.
No problem. It's my pleasure to be up.
Yeah, he's used to being harassed by me. I've known Jimmy for a few years, and he is. He's a very gracious player and very gracious to foolish fans like me.
Do you miss Maine at all, Jimmy? You can say no. It's okay. You can say no.
I miss the fans. I miss playing there. I do not miss the cold weather and the snow.
Of course, you live in Michigan, so it's not exactly tropical there.
No, it definitely is not. Especially after this winter, it's hit us, just as bad here as it's back in Maine.
So we have some questions for you now. A lot of people knew, Jimmy, that I was going to be on the phone with you this morning. So this week I was hearing from people on Cole's hockey team. He knows Cole, Rick, on Cole's hockey team that we're going to interview you. So I want to start with a question from Cooper Ryan. Now Cooper Ryan is a goaltender. He's a 10-year-old goaltender with Cole, Jimmy, and he wanted me to ask you the question: when did you first start as a goaltender?
It's a great question. As long as I can remember. I was always a rink rat. My dad was the head coach for Ogdensburg Free Academy when I was growing up, which is the high school that I attended back in New York. So for as long as I can remember, I was always drawn to the goalie equipment and all the fancy paint jobs and the fun stuff that you can do with the equipment. So since I was a little guy, I was always a goalie.
Now, obviously, this year you were a Team USA member. You went to Sochi. You were one of the 3 goaltenders with the Team USA team. Can you tell us, Jimmy, what was that experience like?
It was a great experience to be able to just be an Olympian. Obviously, I'm a huge competitor, and I wish I could have gotten a chance to start and play, but that was not in the cards. But just to be able to be a part of it and be able to have my sister go over and my mom, my dad, it was a huge thrill for me.
You, in the Detroit Red Wings, you guys you won last night. Congratulations against the Penguins in overtime. By the way, Rick didn't see that game, I'm sure. With less than a second to go in overtime, 0.4 seconds, the Detroit Red Wings got the overtime goal and won that game against the Penguins. So you guys have made the Detroit Red Wings, Jimmy, as you certainly know, have made 22 previous trips to the Stanley Cup. What do you guys need to do? What do the Red Wings need to do to get to the Stanley Cup a 23rd time?
Just get in. You never know what can happen. This season it's been pretty tricky. We've had a lot of injuries. We've had a lot of our top guys go down with injuries, and it's allowed us to see what we have as far as depth within the organization. And the young guys coming up from Grand Rapids have done a tremendous job for us and keeping us within the playoff hunt because, let's be honest, any other team or organization probably within the NHL with what we're dealing with would probably just fold it up and go away. But, we still managed to be right there in the hunt.
Former UMaine standout, Detroit Red Wing, and Sochi Olympics goalie Jimmy Howard here on the George Hill Rick Tyler Show. Jimmy, I don't know a lot about sports. I got a basketball once at Christmas, and I asked my mom and dad, where do the batteries go? But I got one question for you, and that is, Jimmy, if I could make you the coach of your college team, the University of Maine Black Bears, I don't know if you have a chance to watch how we're doing here at Maine, but I would ask, if you do have an eye back on Maine and your alma mater, what would you do as coach to make the UMaine Black Bears stronger and get them back to the Frozen Four each year?
Well, that's a great question, and I wouldn't know. To be honest, there's so much going on out here in Detroit, and I try to pay attention and I try to see how the Black Bears are doing throughout the year, but it's tough to keep up with just because we're going in every which direction. We're out in the West Coast where there's, a 3-hour time change, and it's very hard to keep track of. But with being in the Eastern Conference now, it's a little bit easier, but it's still very difficult to be able to keep tabs on everyone back in UMaine.
It's interesting on YouTube. I don't know if you've actually seen this YouTube video yourself, and I'm assuming you have, Jimmy, but there's a great video on YouTube, Rick, of Jimmy. He's in the dressing room, and he's doing an interview, and all of a sudden in walks Gordie Howe, a famed NHL player.
Okay, I know that name.
Yeah, and so Jimmy's like totally, he stops the interview, he's watching Gordie, like, that's Gordie Howe. So are you ever, now with your experience, you're a star yourself in the National Hockey League, are there ever times when you at this point are still starstruck by current former players or other people you meet as a result of being with the Red Wings?
Absolutely. I mean, when Mr. Howe walks in, automatically, he commands your attention. He still does. He's such a, respected, face and name throughout the league that, you automatically, are drawn to him. But, there's guys every single day. Vladimir Konstantinov still comes down in the dressing room, every once in a while before games, and it's great to see. It's great to be part of an organization where guys still care so much that they're around.
That is cool. That's a great response to that question. You mentioned before you were talking about team injuries. You yourself, unfortunately, have had some injuries. Can I ask, Jimmy, where are you at right now with regard to your health? You're playing. You're back on the team. Had a win last night, as we mentioned. Where are you currently?
Well, I'm playing, so that's all that matters.
that's a win right there.
That makes the Greeleys happy. Happy.
Yeah, it's just it's a part of the season. It's end of March where it doesn't matter. Your body is just hanging on by a thread, and you just got to find a way to push through and find your way into the playoffs.
Can I ask? Are you happy? Are you fully happy with Detroit? Would you like to see yourself maybe a little closer to?
It's a loaded question.
Am I not allowed to ask that?
No, you can ask him whatever you want. He's a great guy. Jimmy's a great guy.
I don't know. Is Detroit? If you could play for any team, would it be Detroit? It's just us. It's just us. No one else is listening, Jimmy. You can answer.
If I had a chance to play for any team, like if I had, had the chance to, wake up and, where would I be playing? It'd probably be the Rangers, because I grew up in upstate New York, and it was always the Rangers. My buddies and my friends and I, it was everything, and it was, our rooms were always decorated with New York Rangers stuff. Mark Messier, Mike Richter, Adam Graves. So that's probably. If I had to pick, if I woke up in the morning and everything was decorated, then, but being out here in Detroit is, just tremendous. I mean, the fans, they treat us with such, great respect, and to be able to play for original 6 team and be drafted by the original 6 teams, out of college is, a lot of respect there too.
You got a birthday coming up here in a few days.
Yeah.
What do you want for your birthday? I'm not getting you anything, but I'm just asking.
That one's a loaded question.
Well, I'm gonna say you probably make 13 bajillion dollars a year, and you earn every penny of it. So what do you give the guy that has everything?
I don't. I
Longer
don't
contract, maybe.
That's the what Rachel and I are pretty much arguing about right now is what I want for my birthday, and she tells me I'm a very difficult person to buy for.
Well, we certainly appreciate the time. Is there anything you would like the folks here in Maine to hear? You have a connection to Maine. Rachel, your wife, is from Maine. You folks certainly spend time here to one degree or another every year. Is there a message you'd like? There are a lot of people. This is a statewide show, Jimmy. Anything you'd like the folks of Maine listening right now to hear from you?
I truly and honestly just appreciate all the fans that I have back there in Maine, and it's a lot of fun to be able to go back there in the summertime and just hang out. And
if I may ask too, I want you to give a message to Cole. Anything you can tell Cole, the 10-year-old hockey phenom? Yeah, have fun. That's all that matters. At the age of 10, just go out there and have fun. I'm starting to get sick and tired of all the parents out there, especially out here where hockey's so big, so big, and they think their child's going to play, in the National Hockey League, like right off the bat. And first and foremost, you got to have fun. I got to tell you, recently, I don't know if you know who Rene Rancourt is. He sings the national anthem for the Boston Bruins. Yeah. And so Rene was a guest of ours 2 Fridays ago on this show, Jimmy, before you, obviously. And he's got this thing where, the parents want their kids to audition for his job. People show up at his house, they call him, they expect that his kid will be the next person singing the national anthem at the next Boston Bruins game. So I'm sure you see some similar things. I know, it's so ridiculous. Let your child have fun, first and foremost, and then if you realize your child has a gift, then pursue it. One more question just got from a texter, the Parker family, Joelle Parker. Their son plays hockey, Jimmy, and Joelle asked the question. Now she's referring to your son. What's it like having a young child look up to you? Now I know James is a little bit young, maybe, to look up to you as with respect to the professional athlete that you are. But
how old is James?
James is 2.5.
Yeah, he's looking up at Daddy, but I don't know if he's really. Yeah.
What do you think of that when James eventually gets a little older and is able to realize that my dad is a big time, NHL hockey goalie? How will that affect your relationship, or what things would you say to him? It wouldn't reflect me. It wouldn't reflect me as much, but as far as James goes, he's already got more swag than I do, so he's he walks into the dressing room and he commands the room already. So I think he's going to be all right. He's a handsome kid. I've seen pictures of him, and he is a handsome kid.
Jimmy, if I can ask, I think you mentioned, did you mention his wife? Is that her name?
Rachel, yeah. Rachel's a Mainer.
Rachel. So, Jimmy, does Rachel ever get a little tensed up about how aggressive it gets on the ice, and you could get hurt out there? She chewing the fingernails off, watching on the big screen TV back at home or in the stands?
Depends on who we're playing. She's... she's the rock of the family. She does everything, that pretty much for us, to get by. She makes sure all her ducks are in the row, and without her, it'd be pretty tough.
Does she ever say Does she ever say anything to you like, Jimmy, take it easy out there because we have a little one now. There's more on the line.
No, not at all.
Instead, she says that
I think she likes it when I I get out there and I rough it up a little bit.
Which you've been known to do, by the way. So how close is James to being able to drive the little red car there, the little red rider that Cole and I and the Greeleys got him? I got to know that.
He's getting there. He's growing. He still can't sit and have his feet touch the pedals. So we got a little bit more that we got to go.
Jimmy, thank you so very much. Jimmy Howard from the Detroit Red Wings joining us this morning on the GHRT show. Thank you so much. You're a great guy. Thank you to Rachel for helping arrange this. And we're very grateful to you and our family.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
And for your fans back here in Maine still, can you give us a Go Black Bears?
Go Black Bears.
Go Black Bears.
This is the George Hale, Rick Tyler Show.
The voice of Maine. More George Hale and Rick Tyler.